Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. Today, we're going to be talking about this topic of being almost done. I am definitely there, and I'm feeling incredibly like, what is the point? What does it matter? I think that this is one of the biggest barriers to this era. It's one of the hardest things. Because it's like you just don't think about anything in the way that you used to. It's really, really weird. I need to really reflect on this more, I guess, because it is creating issues with filming to where it's like I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Like, that's how I feel. Because it's like I feel like everything has been washed away. And I guess the only thing I can do is just tell you guys how it is. And I think about the past. I think about like my MSP era. I think about last year. I think about how there was always so much going on within the journey. And these days, there's not a lot going on within it. Most of my life events or most of the things that are happening, even though this is a relatively boring time of my life, it's a lot of spiritual stuff that doesn't have to do with weight loss. It's a lot of stuff outside of the journey. And so it's hard to talk about on here as as much because it's so loud. It's so much. I actually got a comment today where somebody asked, like, what is so hard about being in a vanity weight era? And I literally just broke it down and I told them everything. And I think there are physical effects that are unpleasant about being in a vanity weight era. But for me personally, it's the spiritual side of it. It's just so much. And you can't turn off your mind. You can't turn off the subconscious. You can't turn it off. The weird dreams that I've been having and, just a lot of stuff, it's just so loud. And spiritual work is really exhausting and it's really hard. And it's like, I'm not really interested in having an awakening. I'm not really interested in this right now. Like, I wanted a cute little moment, but it's turning into like a whole ass thing. And it's very holistic. Like, personally, I didn't want to think about work-life balance. I didn't want to be really seeing my avoidance and having to deal with that. It's a lot of work. So I think a lot of that stuff makes it really hard, where it's like you just see more about your life or more things that need to be fixed. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it is probably an added benefit of a vanity weight era. But when you combine this like loud mental chatter or loud subconscious chatter with a feeling of purposelessness within the journey, I think that that's what's really hard about it. It's just feeling like it matters still. And I think that's why a lot of people don't ever make it. And I just don't want to be somebody who goes into the deficit. You have this feeling of being underwater, or it's like a lot, where it's like, whoa, there's so much there. And then you're like, okay, I'm sick of this. And then you get out of the deficit and you go above water again, but then you see that you're not where you want to be. So you're like, well, I have to go back underwater. And I don't want to keep doing that back and forth. So that's what brings me back to why I'm doing it, is because it's easier for me to just continue until it's done than to switch back and forth. Because at the very least for me, the spiritual side effects and emotional and subconscious and these things, they're so loud during this time. I don't want to keep going back and forth with it. It's easier for me to just stay in one state and then go out of the state after. And maybe other people, they're just more numb to that, or they don't feel it as much or something, or they just don't care, or they're just really focused on like, I just want to eat more. But it's like, I literally feel like a lot of my drives are just not as loud at all. Like a lot of my physical drives. So it's just including food. Like I'm not really that hungry, honestly. I get frustrated with the lack of stimulation from my diet. It's just like nothing. It's at times, and but at other times it's like I don't even care about it. And then when I don't care about it, then I feel like I don't care about anything. And it's just like, whoa. And that's kind of where I've been at lately. Like I'd say like this week especially, where it's like I just don't care about anything anymore. And it's really weird. And I had a feeling like this when I was mid-sized, like in March, where I was like, I don't want to, like, I'm so miserable and I'm so unhappy and I never could find satisfaction in anything. I think I was having a lot of dopamine issues in March, but it's not even that. It's like, I can't care. I don't have any fucks left to give. It's that type of feeling, I think. And I think sometimes I miss that. But it's like your brain just goes to other places. And it's like, for me, everything is so deep all the time. And it's like, oh my gosh, like it's driving me nuts, honestly, where it's like, I don't want to listen to Taylor Swift's Eldest Daughter and have like a 3-day crying spell, because it makes me reckon with my avoidance, when the avoidance I've had towards the guy that I like. I don't want to be crying to, I'm not a bad bitch. And this isn't savage. It's a lot. And I'm like, oh my God. And I literally don't think I would have had that moment if I wasn't in this state. So for all my emotional girlies and boilies, be aware that this phase it does spark up a lot of emotion. It just does. I think, but it's not as dramatic as like when I was mid-size. It's like deep. So it's deep all the time, thinking about things all the time. And it's like, to me, that's personally the hardest part, because everything else, I mean, it's a lot. The working out, it's, the diet culture, I reached a point recently where I'm like, I don't even care anymore. It's like, I don't even care about what I'm eating anymore at all. And I'm just going to go for what's the cheapest things now, because it's like, I think I was trying to hold on to getting some kind of enjoyment out of food, and I just don't anymore. So it's like, it's reached a point where there's like barely even a reason to even try, because it's so reductive that there's nowhere else to go. Which, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, yeah. So don't ask me if it's really that hard. It is. There are physical things too, but that's just like feeling lightheaded if you get up too fast. So it's like you're fasting. So it's similar if somebody was fasting. That's a similar thing. Reduced sex drive, sleeping issues, having a hard time sleeping, or wanting to sleep late at night again. I've had a lot of phases like that in the journey, and it's starting to happen again, where my sleep is starting to shift later in the night again. Or like I'm having weird dreams that I don't want to have. Stuff like that. A lot of subconscious my subconscious trying to communicate with me through this process a lot, that kind of stuff. And then it's a lot of like, you just don't feel well. It's like you're always sore all the time. You're always tired. For me, I've had migraines off and on, but they're like mini grains. They're not like super bad, but it's like there's a lot of hormonal fluctuations still. You swell and then the swelling comes off. You swell and then the swelling comes off. Like it's a lot. And I'm aware, like I am stressing out my body, but it's like my body's okay. It's not anything crazy or like whatever, it's like I'm having, as of now, 1978, but I am very active, but I do eat more when I go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's not that crazy. And I do think I'm still losing, so it's fine, but it's just like, holy crap. It's a lot. So it's hard. And I think the biggest thing right now is I'm trying to just find ways of living that don't have to do with eating. So it's like I want to celebrate the holidays, but without considering the food, like especially Halloween. And it's hard because I really feel like I'm sacrificing this time. And it's tough. It's tough. I understand now. I think for me, I'm so sorry. I'm so going on a rant, but I just need to talk. And I feel like a lot of you guys won't care. I so understand why a lot of fitness people are very extra about it because, and now I'm understanding, especially too, like why they respect people that are in shape and why a lot of people do, because it's actually really hard. And I was literally talking to my grandma today about that comment about like what's so hard about it, which again, I'm not calling that person out at all. It's not like I'm mad or whatever. Not really. It's just, I think for me sometimes, because I have a sort of poise in how I act, and it's honestly just like pure introversion, literally. But I have that kind of quality where it's like I'm a swan on a lake and I just kind of go through like this and you guys see me and I'm just like this. But then under the surface, I'm like kicking really, really hard. And I've done that a lot on this journey and I'm doing it now. And so it's like, it's weird that somebody could even ask me that. It's like, how can you not see how much I'm struggling? And that's crazy to like, that doesn't show. But I think that that's probably true of a lot of fitness people too. Even though they might not struggle as much with the emotional side of it, it's probably tough on the physical side. And there's been a lot of moments where I've talked to my best friend Eric about it because he was in a vanity weight era for a long time, and he told me, oh yeah, that's all a thing and it's really hard and blah blah blah, and he's like, it was no joke. And I'm just like, how did I not know it was this hard? How did I not know? So I know now, and I think regardless of anything, it's, as far as my activism, it's really important that I experience this and that I talk about it to people so they understand why people do respect people who are in shape, because it's actually really hard. And I think that people need to understand that it is a lot of effort to become like above average or to strive for an above average physique. It's tough. So with that, let's go ahead and read this. I'm almost at my goal weight and I don't know what to do about it. For the last 3 years, I've made weight loss a huge focus of my life. I never got to the point of obsession or anything like some people do. I never weighed food or counted calories. I just made it so that food didn't control my everyday activities anymore. I ate what I wanted, but I ate way less of it. Intermittent fasting worked well, so I stuck to OMAD, and it has helped tremendously. It's been a slow multi-year process, but I figured if I kept going, then I'd eventually get there. Well, I'm almost there. I started out at 212, and as of this morning, I'm 159, a number I haven't seen in a decade. My first goal was 175, and when I hit that, I then became 160, and then when I hit that, I hit that, then it became 165. Now 165 has become 155, and I'm only 4 pounds away. I'm within a healthy BMI and weight range for my height now, but I find myself wondering if I should go for 145, and for some reason that ponderance doesn't sit right with me. I've been more successful than I ever imagined possible. Deep down, I guess I just never truly thought I'd actually get here. Oh my goodness, do I relate to that? Holy fuck. I relate to that. Now that I'm that close, I don't know how to stop. I know how to lose, but I have no idea how to flip into maintenance. The thought of having beat this quest leaves me feeling sort of sad too. How crazy is that? Anybody else feel this way? So for me, I've taken it slowly. I started experiencing this a lot really in July of this year, but even towards March, when I took my first step into not counting, like when I went to LA, and I just totally like failed basically, I really ate a lot because I didn't know how to handle it or how to handle not being under constant stress, like just being on the trip and not being in a constant state of resistance. It broke all control basically, or like self-control. So it was like, whoa. So I just really overate, basically. I wouldn't say it was a binge. It wasn't, because it wasn't like emotional or anything like that at all. It was not anxiety induced. I never got sick, right? It was nothing like that. It was just like, it was like being on a bulk, and I gained like 3 pounds that week. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was a little scary. Like, how am I going to get towards maintenance if this is how I acted for like a second? By the time I went to Austin, I was better, because that first taste of it, I was better in April. When I went to Austin, it was fine. I don't think I gained any weight on that trip at all. So that I was good with. And then as I started to approach becoming thin, or average, the average era, which that really happened over July, then I was starting to be like, I don't know what to do after. So I think for me, I started thinking about it a lot, particularly in July. And I'm not in a constant state of stress anymore in my life. So I know I can handle like having a little bit more money, for example, and not just spending it on food immediately. Like, I can handle that. Don't get it twisted, I'm not thriving or anything. I'm just not flopping. It's like I'm really breaking even, and I've been okay to where I haven't really stressed about it since July. And I'm still going strong. So that whole thing of like needing resistance to lose is gone. And that's how I dealt with that part of it. It was like a process from March until July. And then I was okay, because I still was able to keep going in July. From then till now, I think it's like I'm trying to build my life outside of it, outside of weight loss, and I'm trying to fill in my life with other things, because I became such a workaholic over the past year. So I'm trying to have more of a balance, and it's just weird. But I think that that's how I'm dealing with it, is I'm just phasing into it. And I do think that the spiritual part of this is helping, because it's giving me more purpose outside of weight loss. Like, it kind of went from the weight loss journey to a spiritual journey, even though I didn't expect it to be this intense or this much. But that's started to happen. And then it's actually a lot. Like, I have done a lot of like internal work over the past few months, like especially since August. So it's like, okay, that's happening. But yeah, it's just, I guess that would be my advice, is to kind of phase out or start to think about other things, try to fill your life with other things. And if you did develop a workaholic streak like I did, try to get over that, basically. Because I think that's where people get too caught up in it and they don't want it to end because of that. Like for me, I have clear goals. Like I'm trying to get to 195 and then that's it. I'm never doing 2 pounds a week. Once I get to 195, I'm done forever. I'm never doing this again. I'm just done. And so eventually I want to get to 185, but that'll be after 6 months of maintenance and body recomp next year. So, and I'm going to do 1 pound per week. I'm done with this. After this, I'm never doing it again. So, and it is that bad to where it's like, I never want to do this again. So I'll remember this and I won't regain because of how awful it is. Kind of like when personally, I had adult braces. I hated it so much that I never forgot my retainer or anything ever. Because I never wanted to go through it again. That's kind of, I think, what I'm experiencing. So that might be helpful to some people, is to remember it so you don't ever have to do it again. Because I never want to do this again. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue. First, congrats on your weight loss. Outside of weight, how do you feel? How do you feel about the way that you look? I'd go with one of a few directions after hitting a goal weight. Validate your maintenance calories. I recently lost 80 and have decided to raise my calories to maintenance for a while. I wanted to make sure my math is mathing, and it is. It's awesome. I've been at maintenance calories since Thanksgiving, and I'm within 2 pounds of my goal weight. Oh, that's great. Work on body reconstruction. The scale showed me a good number, great, but I didn't love what I saw in the mirror. I shifted my exercise to focus mostly on strength training. What a difference. Weight is not created equal. 2 people can be the same weight and look completely different. I want to be lean and muscular. I'm seeing results from my workouts and loving it. What goals or interests do you have in health, fitness, besides weight? So I would definitely say I'm going to do this. I do have plans. I am planning in the next era. It's really an era that's going to be defined by recovery and recomposition. So the 2 Re's, to prepare for long haul or long-term maintenance, essentially, before I do the final cut phase next year, and then I'm done, period. Pretty sure anyway. I mean, we'll see, I guess, if I change my mind, but that's what I'm looking at now. So I know I'll feel so much better being at maintenance calories. And so I look forward to that. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to be focusing on next year, especially. But for now, it's doing this. It's the long haul, or like the hard vanity weight era. It's tough, but it is working. My clothes are fitting drastically differently and stuff. So it is what it is. But yeah, I would think too, like body recomposition is really important for maintenance as well, because it ups your metabolism. The more muscle you have, the easier it is to maintain. And I think you have to prepare for maintenance, or have that mindset of like, I'm going to set myself up for long-term maintenance. So I think that can help to think of the next phase as like an intermediate phase, because I think it's good to think about like getting tons of nutrition in and building more muscle, and, maybe still burning a little bit of fat, you know what I mean, as you're going through that phase of maintenance. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Because I still think I'll have more vanity goals after this, but I think that there's phases still within vanity as well. This is kind of like the hard cut phase where it's like I need to really lose a lot or focus a lot more on burning. And so that's what I'm doing. And then it'll be more like body recomp and then a final cut. So I'm telling you guys what I'm going to do. So that's what it is. So I'm still probably another year out But yeah. Okay. So that's a suggestion I have too, is like think about that phase as an intermediate phase, because it might help psychologically even. You could shift your focus to fitness. Yeah. I really struggled with this and still do. I also find myself getting annoyed that the scale isn't going down even though it's no longer the goal. In my opinion, maintaining is harder than losing. I hate it when people say this. Oh my gosh. If I end up saying this, I'm going to punch myself in the face. I need to like save this clip if I ever say it, because I'm going to be so mad if I say this, because it is one of the most horrible things to say to somebody in a vanity weight era. As far as like my friend Eric, he is fine. He's like, it's so much better to be in maintenance. So I don't believe this person. I know how to lose and I know how to gain, but I've never successfully maintained. So far, it's been a month and I've been maintaining, but it definitely feels weird and like I'm doing something wrong. I think I need to start weightlifting so I can add muscle and lose fat. I think that makes sense. Yeah, people are saying you could. Okay, interesting. This is just my opinion, but the idea that you beat your quest for weight loss is a dangerous one. I am someone who has lost a large amount of weight, then gained it all back, and then some, then lost it all, then regained it all. Why? Because every time I get to my goal weight, I feel like I no longer need to focus on my food intake with every meal anymore. I can just live and eat however I want because I have my own dream body now and I don't need to worry about weight loss anymore. Wrong. Some people I know have genes that allow them to eat McDonald's for every meal, nearly every day, and we're getting toxic ritualistic here. For every meal, nearly every day, and they've never stepped a foot in the gym of their life, and they somehow have a six pack. They're just very thin. They're not eating that much. It's not that complicated. But if you're someone who has ever been overweight, you do not have those genetics. No, you just like to eat more. That's what it is. Which I know I do. That's why I'm not aspiring to abs. Because first of all, like I don't think it really matters for me, for my goals. And second of all, I want to eat more. Like I'm just going to say it. So I'd rather have more muscle. And I want to especially work like on my legs. And stuff, because those are like very big muscles and they really burn a lot of calories and like they'll keep my maintenance really high. So that's kind of my strategy, which I know is like kind of like whoa, but it's also like, hun, like I'm being realistic. I do like to eat. So I'm like, I want to set myself up to be able to eat more and still be healthy and stuff because I just like it. Period. So that's where I'm like, yeah, like I know I have to set myself up for it and I know I'm going to have to stay very active. I'm going to have to stay in the gym, period. I do plan on making that a part of my life pretty much forever. I do like weightlifting in general, so it should be easy for me to just continue, especially not in a deficit because I'll have so much more energy. And I just like it. It's solitary. You guys know I like, I'm introverted, so I like it. And I like the repetitiveness of it. I just like it. I don't know. It's just, I really enjoy lifting weights. I just do. So, and I like listening to stuff on my phone as I do it. So I know that'll be easy because I do enjoy it. Now, at this time, I don't like how much I'm going. But certainly like twice a week, it'd be so easy for me. So fucking easy to do full body twice a week. Like it would be like nothing. And so, yeah, I think I would need to, honestly, because I do like it. So that'll be easy. And then I like being active. I like walking around and doing things and I like that. So I don't see that going away either. So I think you need to set yourself up for success when it comes to maintenance, for sure. I think there needs to be some strategy, which I'm telling you guys some of my strategy. So make sure you also have one That's all I can say. Okay. For people who have been overweight during their adult life, you need to focus on your food intake for your entire life, because the moment you get comfortable and start eating just that little extra food amounts, you start regaining weight, unless if you're exercising more. As if you built a lot more muscle, unless if all these different things, you know. I certainly plan on counting next year. I'm not even going to consider not for all of 2026, except for maybe like holidays or something, or like my birthday or whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't plan on stopping that at all next year, so it shouldn't be that hard. Okay. That's just my 2 cents. Just want to throw that out there because I wish someone would have given me that info before I had to waste years of my life learning that lesson the long and hard way. So I would just make sure you don't have the toxic ritualistic. I don't. So it's dead in me. I've already dealt with that, thank God. So that part of it is done. And like I said, I'm not ever doing this again after this. So after this, it'll be done. And it'll be like a huge relief because I'll just be doing 1 pound next year, 1 pound per week. But yeah, I would say that that's, I guess, my 2 cents on it, my thoughts, the little bit of perspective I have, but also some of the issues I'm having. So I hope that this helps in some way. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. But I will talk to you guys again next week. Have a good rest of your day, night, etc.